Welcome back, everybody, to the Budge channel. I'm back here with Gavin. A lot faster than I thought he was going to be back, but after what happened today during the Lions presser, it was a much needed video that needed to happen. Like you see right there from Pat McAfee, it's MCDC era in Detroit. It's Motor City. Dan Campbell, man, made okay. Just to put this in perspective, I don't even think there's 1.5 million Lions fans. So for this video to have that many views is just insane. This man, I didn't get to watch the full press conference, but what I've seen and from what we're gonna watch right here, we're just gonna watch a minute and 2 seconds of it because it's probably the most electric minute in Lions history.
Yeah.
But like, okay, like partly before we watch this, what was your, because you watched the full presser, didn't you?
Yeah, I sat there for like the full 90 minutes just watching it.
What were your, like, okay, so he comes out, what were your first impressions? Like his first couple sentences or whatever he said.
Just like it just impressed me. Just I thought I'm just so used to having like Matt Patricia type guys come in and just be like so boring and like just like, oh, here's my scheme. We're gonna stick to it. We're gonna run it because it's worked before. He was like, I'm not sticking to a scheme. We're gonna do what works. And he was just giving off a bunch of energy, and it was just made me want to run through a wall by the end of it.
And disclaimer, yes, we're excited. And people are saying, okay, it's the cycle as a Lions fan. You got a new head coach. You're gonna be excited. Like, I don't want to say this is different because this is something the Lions haven't had before, and a lot of people say this is not gonna work. We were talking to Chris I think the other night, and he was like, "Will a leader work for the Lions? Is that what something that NFL team can do is have a leader instead of like a actual coordinator?" And it's worked. We talked about obviously Harbaugh, but Harbaugh had a pedigree behind him, and Joe Judge did lead the Giants to a 6-10 season and almost a playoff berth in a bad NFC
Yeah.
West. But I think after, I don't know. Let's just watch this here real fast. Here,
Okay.
let me full screen this. Full Dan Campbell effect. Here we go. Okay. So that let's stop sharing this. So obviously the whole kneecap thing, that's what got everybody going is like
Yeah.
who says you're gonna eat a kneecap? Like where do you even get that analogy from? But I mean, I like where he said the fact about like this city's been through it. Like the Lions
Yeah.
embody what this city has been through. And I like that mindset because that mindset gives me like bad boys mindset, like the
Hmm.
90 or the 89 90, like the early Pistons right there. It gives me like, are they going to just be like cutthroat, pedal to the metal, like just they're just going to go out there and just do all they can do in their ability to win. And the other thing I want to say, and then I'll let you talk, is the fact of I think he will be the coach, and we haven't had it since Caldwell kind of did it, but he really didn't. But I think he'll be the coach to go out there and be like, okay, the refs suck. Like the refs suck that game. They screwed us over. Like because he just seems like that type of coach, and that's what I think you're gonna get from a leader type head coach. Is he's gonna be the head coach to go stick his neck out for the team, and he'll take the fines. He'll criticize who he needs to criticize to get out the message that the refs weren't good. Um, he got screwed somehow. His team, or I guarantee he'll like. We've all seen the video of that surfaced of him, NFL filmed of him yelling at his tight end when he
Oh
was
yeah.
down in Miami of not blocking on a play that I think they ended up scoring a touchdown on the play he didn't block, but still
Yeah.
he yelled at his tight end for not finishing the block and then went out and the tight end blew up the guy and everything. But I think he'll be the guy to go in after the press conference and go in on his team if they didn't truly do good. Unlike a Patricia or even a Caldwell, you could say. I loved Caldwell, but even like a Caldwell that was like, you know what, we have things we need to fix. I think he'll call out who needs to be called out. And grown men don't like that, but I think they'll more like not appreciate it, but they'll respect it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think like the same way. He's just gonna. I feel like a lot of players are gonna dislike him at first just for being like the in-your-face attitude, like trying to get the best out of you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's gonna really show on the field for the people that really do need it, not just a Patricia that's like, here's my scheme. If you don't like it, get out of town, like they did with Slay and Diggs and all that. I think he's gonna work with the players, and like you said too, for like when the refs screw us over, which will eventually happen.
Oh yeah,
He's definitely
it's
gonna.
inevitable. Like you, as a Lions fan, you know there's at least gonna be at least 2 games a year
Oh,
that the
100%.
refs are gonna screw over a win for you. So
Yeah, I think like you said, the Sheila and Router have to put a silo of fun for when he gets in trouble with the media when something bad happens like that. Because I feel like you said, he's not gonna hold anything back. He's gonna probably speak his mind.
and you said the fact about players not that are they're gonna be mad at him or upset with him at first, but I don't think they will. Players have responded this hire better than players have responded to a hire
Mhm.
that I've seen in a while from any team,
Yeah,
really.
because I
You don't
saw.
see players. Okay, players were outright calling out Patricia. Basically, there was
Oh
that
yeah.
locker room was split
Mhm.
more than this country, and and the players were calling out Patricia and just didn't want to play for him. But then when obviously Campbell, when he was even rumored to be hired, players were like, yeah, they were tweeting out about it, putting it on Instagram and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And I think they're gonna be really happy about it. And also, I think players are gonna want to come play for him.
Yeah, because I saw even like some younger guys we have like Okuda, like when the hire's official, he posted something on his Instagram story like saying he was hyped to work with Campbell, Will Harris, and there's a few other players I'm missing that said something when
And
the hire was official.
also, what that secondary likes, and I know this might bring a man back to us, is the hiring of Aaron Glenn, which was officially unofficial until today.
Yeah.
Um, but I think he's going to be able to help out our secondary a lot, and he might be able to bring back Quandre Diggs for us because Diggs was. I don't know if Diggs. I don't think he was in Seattle um when Glenn was there, but Diggs posted about him on Twitter or Instagram or somewhere and was talking about him. So who knows? I think Diggs is his contract's up in Seattle right now.
I think so.
I think he'll be a free agent this year. So who knows? We might get a prime Diggs back now.
Yeah, I think his contract does expire this year, and I think he even said multiple times he liked Detroit. He just didn't like Patricia and Quinn was his biggest problem. So I think if we offer him the right contract, especially since I think Harmon's gone this year too, it'd be a good replacement to put Tracy and Diggs back in the
Yeah,
secondary.
and I think Diggs is really because Diggs was a corner when he was in Detroit. He didn't really transition to safety until like that last half year he was in Detroit. And then obviously when he got to Seattle and they didn't need him at corner, they needed him at safety.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I forgot what I was going to transition to there. Oh my god. Oh, about players reacting. I think the biggest player that needs to be reacted here is Stafford. I think everyone
Yeah,
wants to know what he thinks about the hire, where he wants to be, and what he wants to do. Because now with Dwayne Haskins in Pittsburgh, that leaves a hole in Indy with Philip Rivers retiring, and that leaves one extra person that's not going to be in the running there. Um, so now it's like, is Sam Darnold going to go there? Is Sam Darnold going to stay in New York? Which Salah kind of I'd heard a couple clips and I know you watched it, but Salah had kind of
yeah,
he didn't say it directly, but he kind of hinted that maybe he wanted to keep Darnold there.
yeah. He didn't
Um,
right out say he's keeping it, but he said Darnold has all like the talent and athleticism because to be worth that third overall pick they spent on him. So it kind of made it sound like they want to ride it out with him, see what he can do.
unless it was more or less a kind of we don't know yet. So
Hmm.
he's covering his bases there. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was a great number 3 pick. And but if he would have came out and say, yeah, I don't want Darnold as my quarterback, and then they don't trade him, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So it might have just kind of been I'm catering to who I have on my team right now. But if we trade him, then I make it look good and that he has the potential there. But obviously Darnold to Indy has been a big one. Stafford to Indy. But I don't think Stafford will to Indy. I think that Campbell, especially after this presser, Campbell will want to keep him,
Hmm.
at least for the 1 year. And especially because we don't know who our offensive coordinator is yet. Um,
Yeah.
I've heard rumors that Anthony Lynn, now that Bevel was down in Jacksonville, which I've honestly great fit for him. Great fit for
Oh
him
yeah.
and Urban. Urban and him are. I mean, obviously Urban's gonna be like a Campbell. Urban's not gonna be the OC or DC down there. He's gonna be a coach. He's gonna be a
Yeah.
leader.
He's
Like
gonna be a
he's
coach.
not gonna.
Coach.
Yeah, he's not. He's just gonna be the head coach. He's not gonna be
Hmm.
anything else. He's gonna be the head coach down there, and that's what kind of what Dan Campbell is. And yeah, I think Bevel would do good on there. But Anthony Lynn, like we talked about the other day, and who was that?
I
I
think.
seen another guy that Marvin Jones you or commented under his post.
Oh, I forget his name, but I think it was the Ravens QB coach. I think it was. I forget his name though.
Oh no, the Chiefs QB coach, the
Oh,
Chiefs.
Chiefs. Okay.
Yep, Chiefs. He's very young. He's very young. Um, but yeah, he's in contention. But I haven't really heard about anybody that they've talked to or anything yet. So
Yeah, I know. Well, after the pressers day, we know that Campbell's talked to 4 different candidates already for it, which I
oh,
don't know exactly who they, because he said he talked to 4 people on defensive and 4 people offensive coordinator side already.
I mean, you kind of knew he was gonna bring Glenn with
Yeah.
him. I mean, as soon as it came out that Glenn was a defensive coordinator candidate for teams, you knew Campbell was
Yeah,
snatching him. You knew
especially
there.
that extra day where he stayed with the Saints and they did like the players meeting or coaches
Yeah.
meeting, whatever they did.
Uh-huh. But yeah, I mean, talking about hires around the league, right before we started recording this, Martin Mayhew, the worst GM in Detroit sports history, and you cannot argue me on that because he is one of 2 teams to go 0-16 to not win a game in their respective leagues. He is one of 2 managers in his first year, mind you, his first or second year, and he was the first, and I for from 2008 to 2015, he was the worst GM in sports, and I don't know how he had a job for that long. But I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm.
I do kind of understand he did build a decent team in like 11, 12. There was a decent team there, but he wasn't getting them over the hump, and I didn't like him in his early years. But
I
that's
think the
beside.
only other GM you could argue is probably Millen for the worst GM in Detroit sports history, but even
Yeah,
then,
or Al.
yeah, Al.
Al's up there.
Al's
Al's definitely
Al's
up there.
quickly climbing the ranks for that role.
And Joe Dumars, I guess. Joe Dumars at
Uh,
the end of his career.
yeah,
Not that I'm thinking, there's a couple. It's always either at the beginning of their career or at the very end of their career where they're just horrible.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, he got a job in Washington. I'm interested to see what he does there because that's an interesting one because you really don't have a quarterback right now. And it's not like you have an early pick to go after a quarterback because you went to the playoffs. So you're going to
Hmm.
have a mid round pick. So it's interesting if they stay with Heikeney, if they Alex Smith for another year, if is he retiring? And I mean, that's the other thing you got around the league right now. You got a lot. The quarterback situation is going to be the most. It's going to be the most interesting quarterback offseason in NFL history. You possibly have Alex Smith, um, possibly Alex Smith and Ben Roethlisberger retiring.
Hmm.
Most definitely, probably Drew Brees. Already had Philip Rivers. Um, and then who knows? Tom Brady could just say, I'm done if he wins the Super Bowl.
That's
If he
true.
wins, he could just say, I'm done and go off on a high note. And
Hmm.
then Rob Gronkowski's gone after that too. So he's gone. and then
Yeah,
and then you obviously have openings and you're going to have possibly an QB battle, New York, possibly a QB battle, Detroit, if they bring in a rookie. Or I don't know if it would really be a battle or not. Or if they're just,
I
I mean,
think.
it wouldn't be a battle, obviously,
Mm,
but would you have controversy there? Do you trade Stafford? Do you not?
mhm.
Indianapolis will have a vacancy. Pittsburgh vacancy. New Orleans vacancy. Um, And then obviously, if Tampa Bay is done, Tampa Bay vacancy, San Francisco vacancy, Houston, where are they doing at Watson? Is that going to turn into a vacancy? Are they going to have to draft somebody? Are they going to have to pick up somebody? What are they going to have to do? Like, there's so many
Yeah.
possible outcomes. You could even say Carolina. A lot of people have said that they might draft a quarterback in the first round with that eighth or ninth pick, whatever they have. Like,
Yeah.
there's so many things that could go down this offseason that could change the landscape of the NFL, and it's going to be really interesting. Like, could we see Dwayne Haskins as the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers next year? Like,
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy if that happens. It's gonna be a struggle for the Steelers, especially if they lose Juju this offseason too,
yeah,
and they have to have
especially because
Haskins.
who just got either hired or interviewed for the Steelers OC? Was it Marvin Lewis or
Uh,
Caldwell?
I'm not sure. I remember seeing something. I don't remember who it was
Yeah,
though.
that's actually gonna annoy me because I just seen, I think it was Marvin Lewis. I think it was Marvin Lewis because yep. Okay, wait. No, he's staying at Arizona State, so I don't know. Was it Jim Caldwell? Did I see that right?
Yeah, it's Jim Caldwell. I just looked. He's rumored to interview with the Steelers for it.
Huh. So yeah, Jim Caldwell. So, um, good to see him back in the league. I think he's gonna do good. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, our final reaction is I think Campbell is gonna be a great head coach, and I hope he can put together a good staff. I think he's already put together. Already has a great defensive coordinator. I think him and Brad Holmes are gonna work perfectly together. So,
Yeah,
um, your final reaction? I mean, since you watched it all, like
yeah.
you
Every,
obviously got to see
at
every
the end
part
of
of
it,
it.
it really again because it's hard to really decipher if it's really just Campbell like really hyping you up for the season, or it's the what we talked about earlier that's just being the Lions fan, just going through like the new regime situation.
Yeah.
But Campbell really made a priority to like let everyone know that him and Holmes are already tied at the hip. They said once Campbell got there last night, they were talking with each other till like midnight, looking over the roster, thinking about what they're
Hmm.
gonna do.
Yeah.
And I think Holmes and Campbell are really gonna work well together because especially with Holmes and the Rams haven't had a first round draft pick in like 4 or 5 years, and now you're giving Holmes the seventh overall pick in the draft. So I
Yeah.
think he could do something with that too.
Yeah. And the last thing is, I'm all for the firing of the Fords, but Sheila did something.
Yes.
She righted a wrong today. Not fully, but she righted a wrong. She basically said it's on Kelvin now. She said we've reached out to him. We're reaching out to him still, and it's basically if he doesn't if he we're all for helping him and we're all for wanting to bring him back, and if he doesn't want to, that's on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I did see someone in one of the Twitter mentions say that there's a million reasons why, or something like a million reasons, million different things you could do to get him back in that with that team right now. Which, I mean, just give him the $1 million.
Yeah.
You're the Ford family, for God's sake. Give him the $1 million. It's nothing to you.
Yeah.
But other than that, exciting off season. Obviously 3 weeks still left of the NFL season. I feel like the season should be starting again. But
I know. Yeah.
but yeah, I think that's all I got. So if you guys could like and subscribe, we're 6 away from 100 subscribers. So if you guys could help us out there, that would help us a lot. And we'll see you guys next time.